Hello, everybody. Hope you're well. Oops, let's see. Let's see if we can go live. Right, I think we're live on everywhere, but we're not live on Instagram, which is okay. Which is okay. Hello, everybody. How are you? It is Wednesday, and she's back. Hello, Liz Bateson.
I'm back. I'm back. I can
You're
breathe.
back. You're back. You can breathe. It's good to have you back. It
Oh,
really
I've
is. It's
missed
been a
it.
while.
It
And so it's like
has.
we know you've been busy.
Yeah.
Um, so just out of interest, because I'm sure people are thinking, what does Liz
What
do?
did you
And,
do?
and why is she be so busy? Like, how have you guys managed to get on and she's not managed to get on? Do you want to give us just
Yeah.
a couple of minutes of what you
Yeah.
do and how you're helping people change the world?
Yes. Well, word is getting out that I love building communities, and I've literally been asked in the last month or so to build. I think I'm on number 5 of these, and these communities are not necessarily on Facebook or oh hello, I saw a little person. So
Yay.
these are building people's profiles, building people's following, selling books, all kinds of stuff is coming to me at the moment, and I'm addicted to it, so I can't say no. I'm in hyper activity, and so I love it. I love it. It's just my goal is to create an army, basically, an army of amazing people, and to take over the world. Like I'm not even joking. That's
Look
it.
at that.
That's I'm just an egomaniac.
And you're very good at it as well and stuff. I mean, I know that we've been sort of like doing one of your courses and stuff and everything
Mm.
else, and it's so interesting. Like there's things that you don't even think about that that are sort of like, oh my god, I never knew about that about community. I think most people that talk about communities go from a space of what's the word? It's almost like tick a box, but you've done it so much that you're it's almost, I want to say this, but I want to say like an intuitive approach to it and stuff, like
Yeah,
what you
for
come up
sure.
with. So really interesting. So if you want to know
Yeah.
about communities, go and speak
Oh,
to Miss Bateson.
thank
That's
you.
what's been keeping her. And this one over here, Miss Gilburn,
Me?
she's on holiday, so we're not talking to her really and stuff. We're not jealous.
Yeah.
We're not bitter or anything. Where are you?
So I'm in Halkidiki, but it's a bit cloudy today, to be honest. So, and
Makes
I'm
us feel
I
a bit
am
better.
working. It's a working holiday.
To be fair,
I've
I've
delivered a Zoom call this morning.
yeah. What did you do on the Zoom call?
So I was delivering a 6-week training into Ryan Pinnock's mastermind, teaching them how to get visible on LinkedIn. So I had my 4th session with them this morning. I had bad signal then as well, so I am sorry about my bad signal. I'm sorry that I'm in Al-Kadike, but I needed a holiday.
You deserve it.
Yeah, we'll let you off. We'll let you off.
But you
And
deserve it.
I this week, well, last week I did a lot of presentations, and I rolled out a presentation to a community in America, and then ended up having some of those people come in and they found a purpose, which was really cool. So that's been happening, as well as preparing for Make My Life Mean Something, the sprint, 4-day sprint. So I'm doing that at the moment. Yes. So where people are going, oh my God, my life just doesn't mean anything at the moment, or what's the point, or is this it? So if you want to know more about that, then go over to my social media and check that out. Right. Today, EJ's speaking in London. So like we're all so busy. Like EJ's on stage in London. She's been on stage for the last 2 weeks. So
Oh,
we miss you, EJ, and we look forward to seeing you soon.
yeah.
So today we thought we'd talk about parents getting charged to take the kids on holiday. So when we're looking at topics, Rochelle was like, I'm being fined for taking my kids on holiday because it's not half term.
Wild.
Tell us, Rochelle.
Sorry, did you ask me a question then? It cut out. But yeah, I'm getting fined. So I've taken them out for a week. We were away for 2 weeks, and it was like not much more to go for 2 weeks than it was for one. So we were like, well, we're just going to take them for 2 weeks. Maisie did her SATs last week, so exam season is out of the way. Like this week they're just going to be playing and doing fun things anyway. So it felt like the right time to, if I was going to take them out, to do so. And they're both so bright. They do so well. Like they work really hard. They deserve a holiday too. So, and I think for the fine, it's £160 altogether. So it's the amount of money we've saved going on holiday now instead of in August. We probably saved £4,000. So it's for us, it was just a no-brainer.
Wow.
How much?
Look at Victoria's face. So it would have cost us £4,000 more, basically double the price of what we've paid to go in August. So even if they were charging me £1,000 fine, it would be worth it.
That's ridiculous. I mean, I don't have kids, so I can't even speak. But do you know what's really, for me, do you know what incensed me here is that it seems as if everything is being done to make people suffer. And when I say suffer, almost like they're trying to numb people's emotions to the point where they've got nowhere else to go. And to me, if the kids have done even if they hadn't done their exams, like to me, it's the parents' responsibility to make sure that the child has the education that they need. And I think that to increase the prices as well as punish you, I just think it's ridiculous. To me, I'd be like, listen, we're going to keep the prices down so that you can all go on holiday at the same time. You know what I mean? And stuff, because then you'd find that more kids will stay in school. But it's almost like the companies, which a lot of these politicians are part of anyway, they've got stakes in anyway, they're going, well, increase the prices, but we're going to make sure that the only way that you can make a profit is by penalizing them, so they're too scared to go on holiday. And I think that's ridiculous.
Disgusting.
Yeah. So what do you think could be done about this, Liz? What do you? I mean, your kids are all grown up now, which surprised me because you don't look old enough to have grown up kids.
Bless you. Well, we have two in school, but they're in an independent school, and there was a reason I stuck them in a private school. It's because you are actually out of the school system in terms of the government system.
Right.
So we have people going on holiday all the time. Because they trust that, exactly like Rochelle was saying, you know, that they obviously care a lot about their children's education, and they're putting, you know, they're investing money in it. People have this thought that people that send their kids to private schools are all super wealthy, and we have people literally sacrificing everything to get their kids in that private school. Like they're literally living in places like areas they don't want to be. They're sacrificing a lot. You know, they might, if they really believe that that's what their child needs. And my kids are in an amazing school that's very sensitive to neurodivergence as well. And if you want to take the kids out of school, you take them out of school, and there's no punishment. And it is, I wanted to get my kids out of the system as quickly as I could because of this BS. It's ridiculous. Like, and I always find it weird that every time there's a school holiday, the weather is crap as well. I'm sure they're making it like, do you know what I mean? I'm sure they just, I get very passionate about this. Our children, they treat school as like babysitting. So school is not babysitting. For a lot of people, I understand it is, but it's again because we have been brought up to have this 5 days a week at work, 2-day weekends. Most of us can do our job, even in a job in an employed job. Most of us can do it in 6 hours instead of 8. Most of us can do it in 3 days instead of 5. It's just this like exhausting schedule for workers, for kids. Ridiculous marketing, supply and demand, prices. It's just everything to keep us down. It almost feels like they don't want us to be empowered.
That it's almost like they don't want us to be empowered. And this is the thing and stuff. It's that whole control thing, isn't it? It's like if we control you, then you feel powerless. And then guess what? Your kid will graduate and still go into that same powerless system. It's one of the reasons why a lot of people like you say, your children are in a private school where it's out of the system. A lot of people don't even send their children to school anymore. They just get them homeschooled, because it's that whole thing of, when you think of, if you think of the archaic way that we're learning now, or kids learned, or we learned when we were at school, where you get put in a group of, I mean, I went to a lot of my primary school in Cameroon. Some of it I went to in Leeds, but majority in Cameroon. And you get put in a class where there could be 100 kids in the same classroom. Yeah, I mean, I laugh now when people say, "Oh God, it's a big class. There's 20 people." I'm like, we were in the classroom with like 100 kids and stuff, and you know, and you had to. A lot of kids had to cram to pass, and stuff. And it's like, and I don't. It's really funny because I don't study the way a lot of my contemporary studies. I don't like exams. You know, it's like, if you talk to me about exams, I'm done. I won't do exams at all. As soon as, like, I've never said this, but I had to, my degree, the way I passed my degree was, I read the whole book over and over again, and then I wrote the whole book out in the exam, and just said to myself, whoever's marking it is going to have to read it and pick out the right answers, because I couldn't. That was how I got my degree, because I was like, I can't navigate it. Like, to me, it's too much information and stuff. And now that I see that a lot of people really struggle with learning in a certain way, it makes you realize that it's a system that is not going to serve. And actually, it's the people that study in a very different way that become more successful. You know, the people that study in a very unusual way, or the people that left school. You know, like, if you look at the people that left school, you've got people like Richard Branson, and I think J.K. Rowling. A lot of these people left school, you know, like, they're dropouts and stuff. And it's like, they're not dropouts because they weren't intelligent. They're dropouts because they didn't align with the system that was. Rochelle, any thoughts?
Well, it keeps glitching, but I think I picked up most of that. It was just having me think about, like, my children. Like, every morning they go on Duolingo to learn Spanish. I've not asked them to do that. They're doing it because they want to, because they're passionate about learning and they love learning. Like, and that's all I ever wanted for my children. Like, I loved school, and I wanted my children to be able to enjoy it as well, but then also know that they can learn in different places. Like, when we come on holiday, like, they learn to swim properly on holiday. They learn to, like, build relationships with new people. They learn about different cultures. Like, there's so much more to it. And then they get that quality time as well. And I think that's the thing that a lot of that schools do forget.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, go on,
That's
Liz.
more important than anything. I think that's more important than anything, is the learning that they do. Yes, there's a space for academic learning, and I'm an academic person myself. I love learning, but I know that I've also got things I can't do in the way that they want you to do it. So my children learn very differently. The learning that happens in the home and on holidays, and the social side of these things, is vital to their success in the world. So if you're keeping a child away, if you can't afford these holidays in on the school holiday times, and your children are not getting to have these experiences, it's a tragedy, because they're not allowing, they're not making it easy for us to go and travel and spend time in different cultures and meet different people. They're actually just keeping us trapped. It's just, I hate the whole thing. As you can tell.
It's a good topic, though. And when we're looking at topics to talk about, Rochelle put this one forward, and I was like, do you know what? Even not being a mum, I get it, because I've spent years just watching people try and navigate, or parents navigate, holiday times. And to be fair, even as a family, like, we're planning something later on in the year as a family, and we're having to base it around, you know, the kids' school system and everything else. It's like, it's more hassle than it's worth. And also something else that Rochelle talked about, which is, you know, learning skills while you're on holiday. These are the same skills that somebody's going to charge your kid in about 20 years' time, thousands of pounds to learn. Things like confidence, things like, learning about business, you know, being comfortable around money, having those experiences where I know a lot of people that would give their right arm to be able to travel at the moment, and they can't, and stuff like, you know, or they've never traveled before, you know, and you just think to yourself, these kids are being given an opportunity of a lifetime, and instead of celebrating it, they're getting penalized because they're not fitting into that archaic system. But I talk about this in the work that I do. I say, when you're born, you get given your breath, you get given your intuition, you get given your purpose, and society will rob you of it. Society will seduce you out of it. And the thing is, if you think about, you know, these three things, so the BIP, as I call it, it's like, if Rochelle was worried about this, right, then all of a sudden it affects her breathing. So she goes from deep breathing to shallow breathing. Her intuition then goes, because then she's thinking from her head as to how she can navigate that, and you know, create a space where she's not feeling that guilty because people are trying to punish her for being a good mom and taking her kids on a decent trip. And then you've got the purpose, which is, you know, it can easily take her away from the work that she's doing at the moment. It could mentally, emotionally take her away, or even physically take her away from the work she's doing, all because society's rules are saying you can't take your kids out of school. Awareness.
And do you know what? I have felt that guilt, because like my biggest fear in life is getting told off by a teacher. Like, I absolutely hate it.
Yeah.
So like that, I'm having to ask permission, and knowing that these teachers are going to be mad at me, and it brings back all those like childhood fears of being told that you've done something wrong in class. And I feel guilty, but then I feel really annoyed at the same time that I'm being made to feel this way for treating my kids to an amazing experience.
Yeah. You've been gaslit by the system. That's what it is. They're gaslighting us.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good one. I'm taking that.
Yeah.
Pay you later, Liz.
They gaslight us all the time.
Right.
And we feel like we've done something wrong all the time. I always feel like I've done something wrong when I walk out of a shop. I know I haven't stolen anything, but I always feel like I have. Like, you're constantly, you know, for authorities there to terrify you. That's not what leaders were made for in the first place. They're supposed to guide us, and we chose them, you know. We chose them because we needed someone to keep things on track. But now it's become a power thing, and it's ridiculous. Honestly, Rochelle, you've done the most amazing thing for your kids.
Yeah.
And I celebrate and applaud what you've done, and they'll be so bad. And they're amazing students as well. I know how smart your kids are. They deserve it.
Yeah. I mean, listen, if anybody comes for you, you come and get us and stuff. It's like,
you tell, I can speak to those head teachers.
Yeah, we'll sort them out and stuff. It's like, you know, and if there's any moms out there who are being made to feel guilty, you know, because you're trying to just do the best for your kids. If you maybe trying to get on holiday, like Rochelle, you know, she saved £4,000 by going on holiday now with her kids rather than later on or during half term and stuff. It's like, let us know what you're going through. It's always interesting to see. It's always interesting to see your comments as well, because like, it's not fair and nobody should put up with that. And especially as a working mom as well, you're doing your best for your kids. You're trying to put food on the table for your kids. On top of that, somebody's trying to make you feel guilty. I mean, Rochelle could have easily, she's just done a talk on her sprint for a group, Ryan Pinnock's group, and she could have easily gone in there and been completely, you know, emotionally affected.
Yeah.
It's not fair. Hi Natalie, good to see you. That's Natalie Binney. Yeah, so let us know if you're experiencing that as well. Next one I want to talk about. So Rochelle is a whiz at LinkedIn, just absolute whiz. And she posted something the other day that got ridiculous amounts of views. Like, seriously, anybody who wants to know about LinkedIn, go and see Rochelle. But this was quite an interesting one, because do you want to tell us about it, Rochelle? Do you tell us about what made you post the post and what's it about?
Yeah, if my signal stays strong enough for long enough. So basically, I was scrolling through Facebook, one of my bad habits, and I saw that a guy had won £10 million on the lottery, and he'd spent it in 8 years, and then had to go back to work in his day job that he hated. He'd spent it on just like ridiculous things, I think gambling and other stuff. And I thought, I wondered what would I spend it on, and I was thinking as well that obviously my other business is property, and I thought, well, if he'd have just spent a couple of million or 3 million buying some properties and the return that would have given him. So I shared that on my LinkedIn, just my thought process, meant like of what I would probably spend it on, and asked people what they would do with that money, and it just went crazy. So it was 6 days ago I posted it, it's reached 120,000 views, had like 200 likes, 200 comments.
Wow.
Just people sharing like what they would do. Some people would give it to charity, some would invest in property, some would share it with family, just like loads of different opinions on what they would do. But the benefit for me, it's nothing, it is loosely related to my business, but the amount of people that then come and look at my profile, the amount of people who are then sending me connection requests, I don't know if you can still hear me now.
Yeah.
The amount of people that are sending me connection requests off the back of it have been amazing.
Yeah, fantastic. What would you do with 10 million, Liz?
I know exactly what I would do. I know exactly what I'd do. I would get my hair done, firstly. And then secondly, I'd put the other 9.999 million. So I have the privilege, I suppose, over the last 9 years now. I've worked with lots of different people, and I know exactly how to trade it.
Oh, wow.
Disclaimer, I'm not inviting anyone to ask me for any trading advice.
Oh, yeah. Don't
but
ask
I
them.
do no FCA rules not broken.
Anyway.
Exactly. I don't ever trade anyone else's money ever. Only my own. So I don't ever talk about it because it's not an option. It's not an option. But I know exactly how I'd double that, treble that, quadruple that. And then when I've got 50 million in the bank, I would make sure that I created some kind of bunker for the apocalypse. I'm not even joking. And then I'd spend the rest on research, because I believe that there's a lot of things being hidden from us, and so I want to figure it out. That's it. I want to go under the Vatican.
Oh my! Why are you in my brain? Oh my God!
Because I'm using the telepathy that I've been learning.
Oh my God! Like literally. So so if I won, or when I win, because I know I'm going to win. So when I win, I will sort of like find a way to get into Liz's house and put the money in her bank account, so that when she invests it, then I get my return and grow it and stuff. Grow it. So that's the first thing, because I've got 10 million, so I can do that, and I know she can get a good return. And then we're going to do that debunker together, because like that's one of the plans, and definitely going into the Vatican, because I really want to get into the Vatican. I've actually been obsessing about the Vatican for
amazing. So fascinating.
I have been obsessed about, especially since the new popes come in. I'm like, do you know that there is there's a library of books in the Vatican, and it's about 50 miles long?
Yes.
Did you know that? It's like 50 miles long, and it's all like all these letters from these like really important people and stuff that nobody knows, and there's like trade secrets in it and everything and stuff. It's just like it's mad and what have you. So so I'm just like, oh my God. Yeah, so there's people commenting on our thing, and there's people coming in, which is really good. If you're here, say hello. But yeah, so I'd want to do that. What else did I do? Then we've obviously, because Liz is going to build the money first and stuff, and then I'm gonna take part of that money and build my most beautiful home, but in it will be the most state-of-the-art kitchen, because it's my dream to have the most state-of-the-art kitchen where there's cameras that whenever I'm cooking, the cameras dip down and they just film. It doesn't matter what I'm doing. As soon as I start cooking, it will be triggered in that they just film me as I cook, and then I can speak to the world and keep on healing them and stuff. But yeah. That's my dream.
Oh my God, a kitchen studio.
Yeah, a kitchen
See, what I love
studio.
about that question is how passionate people get about it. It's like all of a sudden, like people who I think I probably never thought about having £10 million in the bank, all of a sudden they're thinking, oh, what would I do with it? And it's sparking all this creativity. And I
Yeah,
think that's one of the reasons why they're
yeah,
posted so well.
yeah. It's a great way. It's funny actually. This morning I had a thought. Again, we're all linked. I do believe in the collective unconscious.
100%.
We're all the same person, just
Yeah.
beholding itself in different ways. And I had a thought this morning because somebody whispered in my ear some very big numbers yesterday, and I thought, oh my goodness, like that's huge. It wasn't like a payment directly to me or anything, but it was
Yeah.
just a particular deal. Hello, Natalie. Oh God, there's so much hidden knowledge out there. I'd be obsessed. I would literally, I would need to find out everything. Antarctica, the Vatican, space, inner Earth, the moon. Anyway, sorry, I got digressed. So the passion. What was I saying? We do not think big enough. When you think about the universe and you think about how much abundance of energy, not even like, I'm talking like just even the energy from our solar system, our sun, how if you go out now in this amazing time of year, how abundant everything, the blossom, the plants, we are so abundant, and yet we think so small. As soon as something really big comes along, like a question like that, it unlocks a different part of our brains that we just don't use on a daily basis. And I think that's one of the problems, that we are kept down and oppressed, because then we don't have those thoughts. Because imagine the world full of like 8 billion creatives that had limitless, boundless thinking. We'd be in a very different earth.
Yeah,
But we
the
are
amount of
creative.
people
Go
the
on,
amount of
Rochelle.
people that the amount of people that say things like, oh, I just want to be comfortable, I just want to be able to go on one holiday a year, nice. And like, so many people will say that exact answer to you. They just want to be comfortable, and you're like, well, dear, if you like, I'm saying, you can, this is a dream. It's not like, it's not
Yeah.
necessarily reality. If you could have anything in the world, would you just want to be comfortable and just have one holiday a year? I don't think you would.
No way. No way.
Rochelle, you look as if you're on location reporting in to me and Liz in the studio and stuff. It's just like it looks really, that looks really good. Hi,
And
Nikki.
Hello,
It
Nikki.
looks really
Nikki's
good.
amazing.
there's the
Yeah,
there's the
she is.
pool.
Oh, gorgeous.
I'm not
Gorgeous,
jealous.
gorgeous.
Can I just say that I have no bitterness inside me whatsoever
There's
out there.
there's far too many clouds in the sky for you to be jealous today.
So yeah, so here's the thing. I believe that we're all creatives anyway, but again, that those creatives get the creativity hinders us because of the thought process, right?
Yes.
So, and it's so heartbreaking. And you're right, I like the idea where you think of, and I think this is what people say when they say, think and grow rich, right? The book Think and Grow Rich, right? If you think about it, then you can grow rich with it, because like we're doing right now, as far as I'm concerned, I've got that 10 million in my bank account, like it's there, and I'm putting it into Liz's account, like really secretly,
Yeah.
so she doesn't know. It's just like it's happening and stuff. So,
I'm growing it for you.
you're growing it for me, darling. So yeah, but it's interesting how your energy changes. Now, we talk about money and how we react to money and everything else. I want to take it to a different level, and there's two different bits that I want to touch on. There's the aspect of how, and Liz, I think you've seen this, and Rochelle, maybe you've seen it as well, where people make a lot of money, and then either lose it or they don't know how to treat it. They don't know how to treat that money and stuff. And just like this guy who made won 10 million. What do you think it is that takes us from 10 million to nothing?
It's a very good question. I think I did put it on a post. I think I was commenting on Dan Meredith, who's an amazing guy. He put a post out there, and I think it was about, what advice would you give your younger self? And one of the things I said was, be careful when you do make money, because it's actually such a shift. And it can happen overnight, especially if you're in business. All of you listening here and all of us here, we're all entrepreneurs. We're a very small niche part of society. We've normalized it because it's our normal life. But for most people, you know, they'll never meet an entrepreneur, not really, and bond with them and speak about how they behave and how their neurology is and all the things that go through their, you know, thought processes. So for a lot of people, they can make a lot of money very quick, and it's dangerous if you are not. And one of the best bits of advice I got was from a guy that's made hundreds of millions and is a very good friend of mine, and he said to me, when that first big chunk of money comes in, like that, you know, when you first make money, do nothing. Literally live your life as you were living it before. Then it becomes settled. You integrate it. Because I tell you what, £1,000,000 ain't very much. It's not very much these days. I don't mean to disrespect, you know, everyone making, but you take that and you take off your VAT and you take off your tax and you take off any, you know, any commissions, and you take off this and this and this, and it's a few £100,000. If you start spending it like it was £1,000,000 net, you're going to lose it just like that. So you have to get used to a new normal. And actually, that's what a lot of people don't do. They just go too fast. You've got to settle into it. You know, pregnancy is 9 months, university's how many years, whatever, everything good takes time. And so when you get rich, you've got to take your time to get used to being rich. Because I tell you something right now, I know a lot of rich people, you don't spend money like water. You actually they're the type. I'm going to say this. They're some of the tightest people I know.
Yes.
You know how hard it is to have got there.
I've been saying a lot about this to Chris recently, because I think he was talking about someone who pays themselves £1,000,000 a week, and I said that's great, but if you can pay yourself £1,000,000 a week, but if you're spending 1.1 million a week, then you're going to go broke at some point. No matter how rich you are, you still need to learn to manage that money.
Yeah.
And I think that's a mistake a lot of people make.
Yeah. You need to be making at least twice that for that to be a salary that works out. It's so funny that you're both saying this, because obviously I'm coming at it from an intuitive perspective. So just to give a bit of background, I downloaded a program in November called Money Oracle, and we're just about finishing off Money Oracle with my group of people. It was a 12-week program. And I'm pleased to say that our most successful story in there is somebody who's making 400% more than what they did when they came in, which is incredible. But one of the downloads that was given to me, because listen, I'm not a money expert at all, and I've had my own money issues. But one of the things that came up was, when you receive money, thank it. So you thank it for coming in. So it's about treating money like a relationship. Like when your partner does something for you, what do? Do you just pretend as if they didn't do anything, or do you say thank you? And also stuff, it's like when you say thank you, you hold the space. You hold the space. So you don't just say to the money. So if you don't just say to your partner, you've just come in, thanks for coming in. By the way, can you pop out and go do this, this and this? It's like you don't do that. It's like the money. It's like as soon as the money
comes,
we're
not supposed to do that?
No, Rochelle, you're not. Oh, poor Chris. Rochelle's not. Rochelle is the right one for doing that. No, you're not meant to send them out straight away going, can you do this? It's actually holding them back in and holding the energy. And when you hold the energy, what tends to happen is that excitement or dopamine effect that you get when you get the money, that you think the dopamine effect that says go spend, you've got money, it will die down once you stop and hold and appreciate and say thank you. And then by the time you've given it enough time to just be there, first and foremost, the energy that it gives in your account of being a wealthy account is going to change. And then when you decide to make a purchase, it comes from a more grounded space than it would have done if it was like a dopamine effect.
Yes, absolutely. Nikki's just said that's, you know, energetically, you have to be able to hold the money, energetically be ready to receive. So receiving is an act of trust. And when you are, I always talk about these two things I mentioned before: purity of intention, perfect masculine energy of electricity, and then perfect purity of intention and perfect trust, which is the divine feminine. And so, like you said, you've got to give it time to integrate. And each wealth level you go up, it's a bit of a shock to the system. So just like anything, start getting a cold before you sort of your immune system ramps up. You've got to have a bit of tension. There's going to be a bit of an adjustment period, but unfortunately I think the people that do win the lottery don't allow that adjustment period, and they just continue to they just behave in that dopamine frenzy, which is dangerous.
See, when I win, I'm going to have a conversation with them. I'm going to say, well, what sort of support do you give? Because what's really interesting is even people who have gone public, who I thought get a lot of support, have ended up losing their money. So I'm like, well, what support are you being given? It's not just about having somebody there to counsel you through the experience or the shock of it. It is that energetic hold that you need to place on it. Now, as we were talking, one of the first, not the first conversation, but one of a deeper conversation that I had with Liz, I said, what do you do, Liz? And Liz said to me, she goes, I work with bankrupts and billionaires. I was like, oh my. I was like, I never heard anybody say that. It was just so intriguing. I loved it. I was like, oh my God. So you've probably seen it more and stuff. And it's like,
hell yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen it so many times, Vic, so many times. And I can predict now, I can predict when someone's going to make money just by looking at how they are, how they behave, what they're saying, their words, their behavior, the tone of their voice. It is fascinating. My dream, if I ever get the bandwidth to do this, is to draw, I want maps of where people started, and I want like a page for each person that's successful, and like where they started, and then I want a literal, like, you know, I made 100 grand on this deal and then I lost that much because I invested in a scammer, and then I did that, and I want to see these graphs, because I guarantee you it's not like that. It's like this.
No.
It's like this the whole way, and you're so close. Everybody, money is not security. This is what people make the mistake. Money is not security. You can lose your money for a million different reasons, unpredictable reasons, and I've seen it happen so many times. But that's why I go back to community security and what you've got in here and in here. When you've got the knowledge, you can always make it back. That's why so many of my billionaires I know, they've pretty much, I think 8 out of 12 of them have been bankrupt, 100%. So there's the energy of money is a very strange one. Thank you so much. You don't have to be a good person to be rich. Thank you. It's okay. You don't have to be a good person to be rich. You don't have to be, because everyone knows that the bad people that are rich. You don't have to be, you don't have to know about these things mentally to be rich. You've got to, like you've said in the first place, Vic, you've got to really love money. Whether you're good or bad, you've got to love it. And I mean love it. And be, it's even more than grateful for it. It's just have it be part of who you are. If you want to be a generous person, you've got no choice but to be rich. If you want to be a philanthropist and give away money, you've got to be rich. So for me, that's my goal. For other people, they want to be rich because they just want to treat themselves and whatever. That's fine too. They'll still get rich, but you've got to be really connected to that money. Like, it's not, like you said, you can't just have it come in the door and then shove it back out again. It's got to be part of your life.
Yeah. See, spiritually, we say you can't have what you can't give.
I love that.
Yeah. So we talk a lot about that in pranic healing. It's like you can't have what you can't give. So when so my teacher Les, bless him, whenever somebody comes to him and goes, "Oh my God, I'm broke," the first thing he asks you is, "Have you tithed?" That's the first thing he says. He goes, "How's your tithing? How's your tithing? How's your tithing? He's very clear about it. But how's your tithing?" And you'll see people start shifting, and he goes, "You can't." And people go, "Well, I don't have money." He goes, "But you can't give. You can't receive what you can't." It's the same with love. You can't expect people to love you if you don't love yourself. If you don't love others. And so it's like, it's the same thing. So what we get taught is tithe as much as possible. Find a charity, find a church, give back. The more you give, the more you receive. And people go, "Yeah, but what if I've just got like £1 and stuff?" It's like, well, 50p. Like it just tithe, help people, everything else. And the more you do, and also we get told not to make it public. So everybody wants to show how, they give to this charity. It's like, keep it on the low, keep it on the low. but most importantly, the more you give, the more you receive. And that is a scientific
True.
fact. Yeah, the
It's
more
a
you give,
fact.
yeah, absolutely.
I'm so strong. You've inspired me. I need to post about this because it doesn't matter how much you've got, you've always got something to give. And I'm telling you, this is what the elite do. They know this is a universal
Yeah,
law. You
yeah,
must give. It's a signal to your nervous system, to your subconscious, to your inner child, to whatever it is that you believe is in control. It's a sign. And when you do it, like my mum always says, do it with a good heart. So if you're
amen.
and if you're giving it and you feel anxiety and stuff, stop, come back,
Mm,
come into
mm,
yourself, regulate your nervous system and try again. Don't
mm,
ever give out of guilt, out of emotional blackmail, out of, someone telling you to do it. You give it and you make sure your nervous system is fully regulated and you say, I have enough. I have enough. Before you
amen.
make that donation, before you press that button, before you send that gift, you have to do
Mm,
it with a good heart because the universe is listening to every single one of your actions, thoughts, behaviors. But your nervous system, I really believe, is a massive part of this because that's the only
mm,
way that your subconscious is telling you the truth about itself.
100%.
There's your truth. If it makes you feel anxious, you're not in abundance.
100%. Well, it's like even when you read the Bible, it says it in there. You have to give.
Yes.
When I go from the Bible, yes, I'm looking at it from a religious perspective, but I'm also looking at it as a book that was written centuries ago, and it's still saying the same thing. You need to give, you need to give, you need to give. And what tends to happen is that we hold on to it. It's like we hold on, even information, we hold on to information.
Mm.
Now these days it's called gatekeeping, right? It's like, you want to hold on to it, you want to hold on to it, and you don't give it back. Then you're surprised when you're not receiving something. But yeah, it's interesting, the whole money aspect. We could talk about it for ages. Now, before we go, I want to just touch on this because we were going to touch on it a few weeks ago, and then Liz got busy, so we didn't touch on it much. So I want to talk about it. Liz, she's going to go up on one on this one. I know she is.
I'm gonna try and regulate my nervous system.
Why do you think that when people get given help, they don't take it?
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. This is such a good question. I think there's a multitude of reasons. Firstly, I think there's ego. Sometimes that plays into it. Sometimes people don't want to admit that they need help. But when they are given help, if they have made no fair exchange, I'm in a community in America, we talk about fair exchange all the time. If someone helps you, there has to be fair exchange. It doesn't have to be financial. If there is no fair exchange and it seems one-sided, it doesn't feel right. There's an imbalance, there's a disharmony. And so people will not take it in the spirit that it's given. So even if that exchange is graciousness and grace, I give away a lot every month. I think I say a lot, it's not really that much, but I think I gift about just under £2,000 a month away to various things. And some of those people are so grateful and they use the things I've given them so to the highest level, and it just makes me want to give them more and more and more and more. And then there's other people that literally will throw my generosity back in my face, and then in the next breath moan about not having enough, not making enough money, not being able to raise enough funds, not being able to. So I think there's an element of worthiness, but there's also an element of not understanding the universal laws of fair exchange. You've got to put grace into everything we do, and everyone has access to grace, every single person. So, but I just have to say, just a caveat there. Some people will not take help or advice because they're in such a negative frame of mind and they're actually not very well. And I understand that. And I really feel for those people. They actually can't see when people are trying to help them. And that's something that I have strong empathy for. And it's those people that we have to recognize that. So they're not just being ungracious, they're not being ungrateful, they're actually not well. So we have to help them. But it is a big problem. And I think as coaches and guides, and we all give a lot to our clients, members, communities, and sometimes you can see people suffering when they've got the answers right in their hand.
Yeah.
Can't help.
No. Rochelle, what do you think?
So I think we briefly touched on it before, didn't we? And I've always said I really struggle to accept help. It's one of like my biggest weaknesses. And I think it's because I'm so worried about taking advantage of people. And it's like what you were saying, Liz, about that fair exchange. Like, I don't want to take advantage of people because that's happened to me in the past. So I'm really like, I then impact myself, and I'll suffer in silence because I don't want other people to feel how I've in the past. And it's something I'm trying to work on it. It's just a difficult thing to do, really. And that's the only reason I can think of why I struggle with it. Because someone will offer them the help, and then I feel guilty asking them for that help that they've offered. Yeah. That's me.
So you've both helped me in different ways, which I'm forever grateful for. But what's so interesting is Rochelle and I we meet at least once a week, and we're accountability partners. And recently and stuff, we're going through something, and every time I try to sort of like go, okay, so this is what we're going to do for you, she kept on changing the subject, and I was like,
oh yes,
yeah, like she kept
I
on
do that too.
yeah, she just kept on changing the subject. But the thing is, though, I think we all do it in a way because, like, for me, I'm always like, well, how can I pay you back? What do you need from me? You know, I always think to myself, oh my God, you know, I hope I'm just like, even little things where I go, well, you know, now that I've got this, like, I need to treat it properly. I can't abuse it. I can't be like, I'm very, really cautious and stuff, like, you know, in one of these things. And, you know, recently I got gifted an incredible gift, and I was like, oh, how do I treat this and everything else? And it's taking me ages just to sort of like find my feet around it and stuff. And but I also think as well that sometimes, so I feel like, did somebody just come in?
Yeah, a lovely little one.
Yeah, it was Maisie.
Oh, hi, Maisie. But yeah, so I think a lot of people as well, like you say, there's an ego base, there's also fear. I think sometimes people see, I don't believe it when people tell me that they want to be successful. I don't believe that when people tell me that they want to be rich. I don't believe when people tell me that they want all the help. I think people say that because society kind of again seduces you to think that way, even though you're not sure how you're going to get there. I think a lot of people are genuinely scared that if I'm this successful, then how am I going to manage it all? I think people get overwhelmed by, and I hate that word, but you know, but I'm not negating that people don't feel that, but I really do hate it. I feel like people feel overwhelmed by the notion that they could be successful. So the best thing to do is to not take advantage of what's been given to them, and then they blame it on other factors around them and what have you. Meanwhile, I'm like, you just need to go into it. You need to push through, and that goes for all of us, because I'm sure there's all opportunities that we've not taken that have been given to us and stuff. Like sometimes I sit there and I go, right, what opportunities have I ignored? And I go through, because I'm like, if it was talking to someone, just saying hello, I make sure I have, you know, I take advantage of that. Like Liz has got an incredible community called HNC, and I sit in there and I go, right, I'm not in there all the time, but who do I need to speak to connect to? What value can I add by putting into the group and everything else? And just being present in there is really useful, because and that group is fit. Can I just say that HNC is phenomenal? Like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. The gems that are in there. You undersell it. You undersell what HNC is about. Like it is, it's an interesting group of beings. Like, you know, the skills that we have in there. Like, you know, when you get to have a conversation with people, you're like, how
magic.
How? Yeah, incredible human beings. Right. Listen, we're going to be back next week. Liz, it's always good to see you here.
I missed you.
We missed you. We missed you. We missed you. Rochelle, I know you're going to have an amazing holiday. EJ, we've missed you. If you ever fancied being a guest panelist on here, we are busy women, so we can't all make it at the same time. So sometimes we need someone to step in. So if you're interested in becoming a panelist, just give us your name and then we will consider you one day. It'll normally be short notice, maybe about 24 hours notice, but we'll email you. But until next week, we'll see you soon.
Bye, everyone. Bye, ladies.
Bye.